Let's check it out. Spark plugs and coils from the other Beamer. Hello YouTube, and this is my 2011 325i from Copart, what I pretty much recently finished repairing. I just changed the oil with the original BMW oil for that one. Isn't it crazy? And the final touch was installing this original reflector. First of all, I purchased like a aftermarket reflector which did not fit at all. So if anyone gonna do that, I would probably suggest it to go with the OEM original genuine reflector. It fits as the glove. And this is what we got here. Rens just delivered brand new unknown mystery project. Let's check it out real quick. It was both sight unseen, non-running, obviously not driving, as the flood vehicle. I don't know how deep it was damaged, how bad was the flood, but we're gonna find out pretty shortly. Alright, I towed the car on my driveway using my trusty Sienna, and what I do have right now so far, this battery is completely dead. This is my half dead battery. Using that, I connected my scanner just to go through the system to see what modules are responding or not responding, just to make sure how excessive is the damage to that car. So far what I have right now, all the modules been communicating with my scanner. I was able to reset all the codes. I mean, even this like iDrive thing is working, and this freaking thing is beeping. Two faults that couldn't be erased are from SRS or airbag, airbag module, so I'm not too concerned about those. I also double checked the water, I mean not the water but engine oil level through this iDrive system, because there is no actual dipstick. It shows level okay. I'm not sure if it's able or capable of showing if it's overfilled. For example, if the car was really flooded, I mean, it could have some water in the engine oil, so I mean, which is not good from one point of view, and also the level could be significantly higher than it's normal. So I'm not sure if this system is capable of showing if the oil is actually higher than required. I don't know that. So under the hood, I didn't find any like real flood signs. I'm not sure it could be washed like by the Copart or by the insurance company. I don't know. So I'm gonna try to, I'm not sure, maybe this is some kind of flood, or maybe it's just a dirt. I opened this airbox. There is no any signs of water. The filter is dry. There is completely no signs of water, so I don't think any water got into the engine through the air intake, which is good. I'm gonna try to use this little mighty booster, and we'll see. Maybe it's gonna crank. I don't know. What do you think, guys? The moment of truth. Foot on the brake pedal. Oh, nope, it's not enough. And you can see it's kind of trying, but it's definitely not enough juice, unfortunately. Let's check it out. This one is actually off. All right, now I can hear some sounds under the hood. Let's check it out now. Now it's a little better. I can hear it trying to crank. Okay, I can hear the fan. At least the fan is alive as well. I don't know. Also, probably I'm gonna need to check if I can crank it through the crankshaft, just to make sure it's not hydrolocked though, because I still don't know what is the actual condition of the motor. I mean, otherwise, the music is not working, so I can hear the chimes, but the radio is not working. You can see I can switch the radio stations, but there is no sound, so maybe the amplifier was shut. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna need to pull it further on my driveway, maybe on my lift, and I'll see if I can crank it with my breaker bar. Probably I'm gonna remove the spark plugs, so just to make it easier. Okay, I was poking around the car. I cannot get it to start because the engine does not turn over. It could be possible because I have like a half dead battery here, or it could be seized or hydrolocked. I don't know. So what I'm doing right now, I would like to remove the spark plugs. I just remove all the coils. And by the way, there are 3 different kinds of coils here, so it's probably not a good sign, but everything here looks clean, so I'm gonna remove spark plugs and I'm gonna try to turn over the engine with the spark plugs removed. Alright, I removed all the coils and all the spark plugs, and I see some moisture on the spark plugs, so most likely it's a bad sign. So all 6 spark plugs were removed. I'll try to crank the engine, so we'll see if it's completely seized, or maybe we'll see some water spitting from those holes. Actually, I can try to crank. It's a little too tight for me to put like the breaker bar. So we'll see how the starter is working, if it's working. I'm not sure if the battery is still alive in the trunk, because it was like on the borrowed time. Okay. It does not turn over. It's kind of trying, but it's clicking, but it does not turn over. So I'm probably gonna need to remove just the fan to get the access to crankshaft bolt, so I can try to turn it with the breaker bar. All right, so there is probably some good news. So I installed the breaker bars, and it's pretty much spins somewhat freely. I mean, I would say absolutely freely. Sorry, my GoPro battery died, so I'm shooting at iPhone. It's not seized, obviously. So I'm not sure why it's not cranking with the starter. Because that's nothing for a starter. It's like totally loose. When the spark plugs are removed. So it's most likely it's just the battery that's completely dead. It just doesn't, it's not enough for it to crank. So I'm gonna hope for the best. I got the casualty here when I was removing the radiator. Oops, this pipe snapped, so it's so brittle. So I'm gonna need to find, you know, so, I guess I'm not the first one. Take a look, it's already been fixed right here. It's obviously not stuck. So whoever did it, they did not replace this little pipe or hose or whatever it is. So I'm gonna need to fix that before I crank the engine, otherwise the coolant gonna shoot from here. But other than that, I'm gonna try to charge my battery, and I'm gonna start it again. I got an evening update. I went to Costco and bought a new battery because this one was completely died, and two my other batteries were died as well. You probably can, yeah, I guess you can see this whole mess. So when I was removing this fan, this line going from here to here actually cracked, as I showed you previously, and I was showing you how I was rocking this, you know, crankshaft back and forth, and I went ahead actually and cranked it with the key, with the ignition. So the coolant pump started to, you know, to work, and I got all this fountain with the coolant all here. But what I found out that it turns over, and right now I put a new battery, and I want to crank it once again just to see if, or at least make sure there is no water sitting in the cylinders. And actually I put some distilled water here, since it lost quite a lot of coolant during this fountain time. So let's go ahead and try to crank it. Key in, I got it on, foot on the brake, and you can see it comes. Impossible to see anything because, like always, I'm shooting when it's night outside. Cranks. It cranks pretty good. So yeah, key, of course. Thank you. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna ask my wife to crank it for me, and I'm gonna see what's happening in the cylinders. And if there is no water spitting out, I'm gonna put the spark plugs back, and I'm gonna try to crank it. All right, I'm gonna keep you posted. No, okay. I just installed all the spark plugs and all the wiring. Oh my god, coils and wiring. So I don't have too much hopes, but let's try to crank it. 3, 2, 1. It's trying. It's trying. I can hear. It may need. mainly the new set of spark plugs and coils, because it cranks pretty healthy. Okay. Probably it's gonna be the next step. Coils and spark plugs. Last try. Let's smell the exhaust. Can we smell the... Yeah, we can smell the gas, so most likely spark plugs or coils or both. All right, I'm gonna pause it till the time I'm gonna purchase spark plugs and coils. All right, this is where we left yesterday. It's all the coolant mess around. Yesterday night I went ahead and ordered the new set of spark plugs, a new set of coils, new oil with the filter. And yesterday was Saturday, so obviously today is Sunday, so I expect this package to arrive around Wednesday. And I don't want to wait that long, just to test it. So I thought where I can get like at least coils and spark plugs. I was thinking where I can get it, and then I thought maybe I can get it here, because I know this car is working perfectly. So the coils and spark plugs are good on that car, so I can transplant them onto this car. And once I'm gonna get the brand new set of plugs and coils, I'm gonna put it into the little Beamer, and I guess it's gonna be a win-win situation, because I don't want to invest that much money yet into this one, because it's gonna require some work. I can see the valve cover gasket is leaking badly, so it needs to be replaced. But so far I need to know if it's possible to crank it. Yesterday I told you that I checked the filter, and it was totally dry. So there is no mold on the filter, or anything that looks suspicious to me. Some bugs and web, but no mold. Obviously it's on the older side. I'm not sure when it was replaced last time, but this housing is pretty good actually. Next step before I proceed with the coils and spark plugs, I want to leave the car and I want to drain the old oil to see if there's the water in the oil. I think this should be good enough for this Beamer. It has long life 98 allowance or whatever it is, and as far as I know, it could be substituted to LL01 certification or allowance or whatever. I want to see if this puppy can be started, or I need to dismantle it completely. So stay tuned. Okay, I lifted the car, removed this lower pan or shield, whatever it is, and I can see that there is like a massive oil leak somewhere here in the bottom. I do not see exactly where it's coming from, so I'm gonna need to clean it first, and then once it's cleaned, I'll be able to see better, what's the source of that leak. So right now I'm prepared to drain the oil from the engine, and it's gonna tell us if there is the water. And you can see it. I mean, this is the Beamer. It leaks everywhere, as opposite for some reason to the other one, the silver one. It doesn't have any single drip of oil anywhere. So I'm gonna open the plug and we'll see how it goes. If I'm not mistaken, it's 17 mils socket right here. And by the way, there are two plugs. One is for the engine oil, and I guess this is the transfer case oil or fluid. And whoever did put this drain plug last time, oh my god, they did not use the crush washer and they over tightened it a lot. So hopefully I'll be able to catch it, to catch the oil and not to spill it everywhere. Is it a cross-threaded? I can get it off. It would be the bad news if it's a cross-threaded. It doesn't go as smooth as it should be, as it should go. Moment of truth. On the very bottom, it looked to me like a little milkshake, but literally a couple seconds later, it's a pure oil. So if it had the oil in, I mean the water in, it was like extremely minimal amount. So I'm gonna go purchase the new filter, purchase the, actually no, just a filter, because I have the LL98 oil, which should be fine for initial start, if it's gonna start at all. Okay, I just drained the old oil, and I double check for the metal particles. There is none in the oil, which probably is a little good sign. This like a little milkshake, like on the first second of you know, when I started to drain the oil. Maybe it's just a condensation, so maybe I'm panicking too early. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna lower it. I'm gonna open the oil filter, and I will see how the oil filters looks like, to see if there are any metal particles in the filter. And okay, stay tuned. Okay, let's check it out together. Oil filter full of oil, no milkshake whatsoever, no metal particles. I'm gonna leave this filter for now, because this is just a temporary oil change, kind of to make sure there is no water in. Okay. Let me put, I'm not sure if it's worth to put this air filter in, because it's a crap, to be honest, but it's better than nothing, I guess. So I'm gonna pour like around 6.5 liters of 5W40 liquid moly oil. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, it's 6.9 or 6.5 liters total, the oil capacity. So I'm gonna put 6 liters, most likely some old oil residuals still left in the system. Okay, we are at 6 liters now, so I think it's enough. Alright, so let's crank it a couple times so the oil circulate. It doesn't start. And one more time. Okay. So the next step is to catch the camera. And actually remove the coils and spark plugs again and take them from this little baby there. Okay, I measured the compression in the first two cylinders. Now it's cylinder number 3. The first two showed like around 120. Alright, this one is worse than that. It's probably 60, 78 in Pittsburgh units, so I'm not sure how accurate is that. Okay, cylinder number 4. $120 again for cylinder number 4. The battery is getting weak pretty fast with those starts. Even it's brand new battery I bought yesterday, and I put it on charge for the night. It was all the way charged. Okay, cylinder number 5. Hopefully the battery gonna turn it. Nah, it's 100 pretty much, 98 or so. If the 6th one gonna be fine, I think this should be relatively fine for the engine to start, even with the relatively low compression in cylinder number, what was it, 3? $95, also kinda on the edge, but again it technically should start even with this compression. Alright, let's check it out. spark plugs and coils from the other Beamer. She started. She sounds rough. But she started. The oil is burning because there is a bunch of oil, but that's fine. Woo! Alright, it moves by itself, smokes, so the oil on the converter is smoking, but I guess that's the problem with the valve cover or valve cover gasket. But it works. It drives by itself. So I wanted to read some codes, and it smokes a little bit from the exhaust, like with the white smoke. What I would think it's like residual moisture from the, you know, what was in the engine. So I'm gonna give it, you know, some time. It's not terrible. It's not terrible yet, let's put it that way, but we'll see. I'm gonna let it sit working for a while, and we're gonna read the codes. BMW, let's do the last one. And it works much better now comparing to the first initial start. When I started, it showed like reduced engine power. Right now it runs very even. I bet there are gonna be a bunch of codes because of the low battery and all this stuff, so we'll need to clear all the codes and see what codes gonna remain. Well, alright, not too many codes. Let's check it out. But is there any codes for the engine control module? Let's check it out. Electric fan activation current, there is no fan right now. That's DME oil condition sensor current, misfire cylinder 2 history, sluggish, blah blah blah. So right now the only current code is oil condition sensor. I'm gonna need to figure out where is it. Okay, let's go back. Safety and gateway module. Mirror heating, passenger side 40. Not concerned about that. We'll check it out later. Airbag. It's okay, so history, so they're not current. Transmission. Parking. Okay, it's history. It's actually the code, I guess, because I did put it to neutral by the screwdriver here. Okay, that's good. Transfer case. Let's check this one out. Fault code, oil wear, current. Okay, I'm gonna need to double check what that actually means, but that's fine. Gear selector switch. It goes to D, it goes to R, it goes to neutral, D, plus minus, working properly. But let's read the code. Okay, it's history, so it's not current code. We're not worried about it right now. Instrument cluster. Fault code. Message error, tire pressure control, receiver instrument panel, tire pressure control, no message telephone. Have no clue what is it. I'm gonna need to double check what are those codes. Light, I remember it was something with the left low beam or high beam, something. Yeah, LM, high beam, turn off light, left 40. Have no idea, we'll figure it out later. I double checked the headlights. The high beams working fine for both sides. Air conditioning, that's most likely gonna be related to the fan that is disconnected, but let's see. No, it's fogging sensor. Okay, this is the guy. Okay, not sure what is it wrong with it, but we'll figure it out later. I mean, no serious fault codes in, except like the oil wear or something, and that's it pretty much. Nothing too serious. Okay, I found two more casualties in the trunk. There was little water, like probably like half an inch of water where the spare tire is, so I stripped it completely and found those two modules submerged. So this is the RDC, the tire pressure system, and this is like the MULF model, MULF, whatever you want to call it. This is for the phone number. So remember the codes that's been stored in a system, the active codes, those two modules. So obviously that needs the replacement. I am not too worried about those yet. Would like to get the car up and running normally, and then like as it's gonna be like the last piece of the puzzle, just to replace those two modules. those are disgusting. But yeah, since it's Sunday, I went to my local Ace Hardware, spent 18 bucks, and I would like to fix this hose. So I bought like the fuel hose actually, and I bought two fittings or couplers, whatever you want to call it, and hopefully, yeah, like those, so I can connect those pipes together, and I bet it should do the trick. And by that point I won't worry about the coolant running away. Right now it's everything like is with the coolant because it's never been totally sealed when I put this like temporary replacement hose. Alright, that's the next step. Check on coolant. It's not leaking at all. I sprayed some degreaser on the engine here and there, so I would assume that's what's burning right now, because that's the distinctive smell of this degreaser. I just wanted to have a more clear look what kind of problem we're talking about. We have some milkshake on the top of this cover right now. I guess this is normal. I mean, this is normal for the condition of the engine it was. So it's gonna take, you know, couple more oil changes, maybe even flush or cleaner, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, in overall, works pretty damn good. It's not bad at all. How is our smoke doing here in the back? Okay, the smoke is gone, so there is no more smoke coming, and this is where the casualties I found. So they were in this well, but not a big deal. So completely no smoke from the exhaust, which is good. I still don't like this kind of noise. It's like tensioner or pulley is very loud. Maybe it's a water pump. Maybe it's a water pump. But it works. Let's rev it a little bit. Okay, now it even gets back to idle much better than previously. Remember when I revved it and released the gas, it was kinda jumping all around. Now it's much better, and no check engine light so far. What I would like to do now is to remove the serpentine belt and start the car without it, to see if this noise gonna be there or it's gonna be gone. So that's gonna tells me where to search for the problem. Inside the engine, if this is the case, this is gonna go for parts, or it's gonna be maybe, you know, pulleys, I don't know, water pump or something. That's another story, we can fix it. Alright, I partially removed the belt, and let's listen how it's gonna sound crank pulley spinning. Alright, there is no more noise, so whatever that thing is on the left, actually this is probably the compressor for the AC or clutch. Maybe it's noisy because right now there is no more noise, and I tried this freaking thing on the left side. Most likely it's a AC compressor though, and it's very noisy. So I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to hear it. So it's definitely what makes this sound, like a bearing is gone for AC. I guess it's AC compressor on that side. So we're gonna see what we can do about it. Maybe it's just a clutch that needs to be replaced, or what, I don't know. But it's definitely, that's the culprit, which is good, that there is no internal failure of the engine. I guess that's gonna wrap the first part of this video for this 2008 528iX or XI all-wheel drive. We're gonna take it slowly and we'll see what's gonna happen. Meanwhile, I'm gonna do my research in order to see what we can do about this noise from the AC compressor, if the whole thing it needs to be replaced, or maybe the clutch needs to be replaced, or what, and we're gonna go from there. I guess it's not bad for $575 Beamer from Copart, non-running, non-driving. Take care, guys. I'll see you in the next video.